Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. We are back again, the top table talk for a Thursday special. And we've got the boys with us and a few more to come as well. It's going to be a packed panel tonight. But how are we, people? How are things in the world of football? I think this is our first one, actually, in 2025. So happy New Year to you all. You all well?
Very well. Happy New Year to you. When is it convenient to stop saying Happy New Year? What date is it? I was talking about this
right about now.
About 3 days ago.
Yesterday. Yesterday.
Definitely. Yeah. We're done. We're done now with the Happy New Year. But it's our first time.
What is the rule, though? That's a good question. What is the rule?
I have no idea.
It's probably when you last saw the person and it's in the first 2 weeks of January. That's your sort of cut off, right? Because
if I hadn't seen you, Adam, for 6 months and we're there in July in our freaking
technically not a new year then, is it? Yeah, it's just a regular year. What's the opposite of the sunglasses, by the way? Do I have to cover my eyes based on brightness? What do I do? I need the opposit of the sunglasses.
You don't need these sunglasses anymore.
Blindfold. Actually, I could do with a blindfold after our last few performances. Yeah.
To be fair, Adam, I thought you were going to say you
dunce hat, mate. That's what you.
to be fair, Adam, I thought you were going to say you'd prefer it if it was 6 months until you saw Wolfie. To be honest.
Well, I don't know about that because if they keep this up, then I might never come on here again. If we invoke a Leicester somehow, I'm never going to be able to listen to Wolfie speak again.
I'm sorry. Please don't say the L word because why?
I told you got to invoke. I didn't invoke it. It's all right. It's just
I'm just saying, why does everyone say Forest might do a Leicester? Did everyone forget that Forest did better than a Leicester before? This Leicester thing is a great achievement.
How could you possibly take issue with that?
I have no idea.
The biggest compliment.
No, I get what you're saying there. But I'm just educating everyone that Forest won the league after they got promoted. Leicester waited a season before
they did. What league was it, Wolfie? What league was that?
The top tier in English football.
What was the name of it?
Shall we change the name of this show?
Because I don't know if many of the listeners.
I love the name of the new show, by the way. I saw the thumbnail. I mean, big up. Who did it? Was you, Daz? I had your fingerprints all over it. Yeah, I thought so.
The traders work into it. Yeah.
Well, most importantly, though, hold on, Wolfie. Is this still a How Out show? Or is it how in?
Oh, we need to ask that.
It was never
that. 2020.
Yes.
You cannot do that.
Is it how
you cannot do that? We were staunch. We were staunch House supporters. Now the one that you targeted.
Have you got flip flops of those shades? Have you got flip flops of those shades, mate? Yeah.
No, never. Don't start that. Don't start.
Where is he? Is he depressed because Eddie Howe's all good now? Is he just not coming on and refusing?
Chris, well, you might have not heard there was a bit of action today in Merseyside. So once there's a bit of action in Merseyside, there's no sign of Chris. He has to sort that out. He has to be in the thick of it. So it's this sort out a new manager for him.
Yeah, they're managerless, aren't they? Everton.
Yeah, Everton, Chris.
There he is.
Wolfie looks stunned. He looks like he has
confused.
Yeah. You'll get it anyway. He's currently on a train eating Nando's somewhere.
He's in the chat.
He was in Nando's.
Yeah.
He's in the chat. He's got his flip flops on. Look at Adam. He's got his flip flops on. How are we in?
Yeah, there he is. He's in the chat.
God, I'm going to go back and get the receipts. I'm going to start putting together a little compilation of comments.
Yeah, Daz hasn't played my one for a while, Daz. Well, what? It's because everything I said there was relevant, mate.
What we will say is that you tried, boys. You tried your hardest to turn us, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So, and now the boys are showing their worth, which is great to see.
Fair play. You guys have been unbelievable.
Sure.
Obviously, look, it's what 7 in a row now. 7 in 7. And a few people are kind of raised, it was Leicester and then it was Ipswich. But you look at those last few games that we've played. Villa at home on Boxing Day, Never an easy game against Villa. They're a good side.
It is. Come on. It is at St James's Park. It is. Come on.
On Boxing Day, maybe, because we talked about the Boxing Day. But in general, you're a top side. But then, for me, you look at that. You go away to Man United, regardless of what Man United you're playing. Going there is never easy at Old Trafford. Then to Spurs a few days later, and then to do that against Arsenal in the cup. That's the 3 away games in particular. You know, you're looking at Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal. That's massive. Like in your what are you thinking about Newcastle United now? The way we're playing, the results. Like, I'm
scared of you. I'm scared of you. I'll be honest. I'm scared of you. Like, I want you guys to finish with us in the top 4. But at the same time, I want you not to win, but respectfully. Yeah. You know, like when, I don't know, Liverpool or Arsenal lose, we laugh. Yeah. I'm doing it out of what's best interest for Forest. But I'm crap scared of Newcastle. I'm more scared of you than our Liverpool game coming up. Because, and I said to you, when you played us, that second half against us, that was the best team I've seen at the City Ground.
You did, yeah. You said that before.
It needed that consistency. Yeah. That's what was missing from that. After that was that consistency. I think you've got it now. Question is, can you keep your players fit? Because your injury record over the last 12 months has been horrific. A couple of big injuries, could derail you. But as it stands now, the team you got, can I swear? Because you guys scare the shit out of me right now.
Every team would be scared of Newcastle. Every team. They're a bit like, at this moment in time, the kind of Arsenals of the late 90s, early 2000s. The Man Uniteds, like, they fly forwards. They've got strong physical players. If you came up against them in the dressing room and you've in the tunnel, and you've got Joe Linton, you've got Isak, you've got Botman, Byrne. You've got pace on the flanks. It's like, they just you're bullying teams, and you've got the pace in attack, and you're throwing the bodies in the line. You don't want to concede any goals. If you concede in a goal, it's kind of like worse than anything else, and that's a recipe for an absolutely top side. Very similar to what Forest are doing at the minute. It's like, again, if you came and look at the Forest team in the tunnel, they've got some big, physical, strong players that you just don't want to play against, and it's exactly the same thing.
We've got world-class players, though. There's world-class players in there, Wolfie, right? As in,
that's too far. That's too far.
No. Tonali is world-class.
Define world-class. Define world-class.
One of the best players in the world.
So is Zidane world-class?
Somebody played, does he? So world-class manager, you could probably argue, but don't be a pest just for the sake of it.
I'm not, because this is a debate. It depends on your definition. It depends on your definition of world-class.
All right, let's change it. They're some of the best players in the Premier League, and I put Gyokeres in there as well, right? So there's enough Isak within that team, Isak as well. But I'm not worried because all of the Arsenal players, all the Arsenal fans, they just said they're going to stroll up with a checkbook, and Isak's just head over to Arsenal, right? I thought that's what they're.
Why would he?
No, the Arsenal fans think he's just going to leave. They just get to pluck anyone they want and take them.
That pisses me off. It pisses me off.
Entitlement.
And it's
Adam knows all about it from Chelsea point of view as well, Pete.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
They
actually do it, to be fair.
We'll ask him the question about that. We'll ask Potts the question about it, because it annoys me. It annoys the hell out of me with regards to that. But look, we're on top form. The players are showing what they're capable of. For me, I'd put Isak as one of the best strikers in the world right now.
Agreed.
Easily. Who would you, if you had a top 3? If you were to say Isak's one of the best in the world, who would you put alongside him? Strikers. I'm not talking inside forwards. I'm talking strikers.
I can put one striker above him for sure.
If you say Solanke, did you just get off?
I don't even need to tell you. You already know who that is.
If you're going to say Solanke, then you
just go now. Just go now, Deji. Just go.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane's long gone.
You put Harry Kane currently above Isak.
Isak's got nothing on Kane. But
are you talking four more quality? Yeah, Gyokeres is the best striker in the game, right?
Yeah, striker. You got Gyokeres. You've got Haaland, obviously.
No
Chris
one
Wood.
should mention Chris Wood. Like, we're not doing anything.
Why
to do
not?
with
Why not?
John
Evan
Duran,
Ferguson up
John
there,
Duran.
available for transfer, by
He's
the
a
way.
lumpy guy.
No, it's those probably those three, right? Haaland, Isak, and Gyokeres are the three most biggest.
I'd say I know he's not exactly a striker, but Marmoush, man, is red hot right now.
Well, aren't City about to try and get him?
Yeah.
Is Kane still the top scorer in Germany, though? Is he still the top?
What, in a farmers league, man? I'd be second top
Yeah,
scorer.
but if you're saying Marmoush, then he's second top
fair
scorer in
point,
Germany.
fair point.
Is Kane at that? I know he's had a decent season. I know he's injured at the moment, but is he playing at that level? I have to be honest. I've not seen a lot of Kane this season.
He got 50 goals last season. Come on.
Well, hold on. Let's ask
No,
this
I'm on
question
about
this
currently.
way.
I'm on about currently this season.
England play tomorrow. Isak has suddenly got a British passport. Who are you starting, Isak or Kane? Because it's Isak, right? So he's
Yeah.
he's
I
better.
mean, I wouldn't be starting Kane anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
Isak
okay,
starts.
let's go around the panel then, because me and Daz, I think it's obvious who we would go for. But
Yeah.
like Wolfie, if you had a choice right now between Isak and Kane, who are you going for?
I mean, it's not a fair question because I would say most strikers over Kane because he's gone. But definitely Isak, man.
Even at his prime.
Okay, let me open
Why
it.
is Spurs fans still so attached to Kane, man? Like, let him go, Deji. He broke up with you. It's
Isak,
over, man.
Gyokeres, Kane.
Come.
Who you going for?
Isak. Gyokeres for me hasn't yet proven it. He's been Championship in Portugal. I want to see him in a better league.
Okay.
Todd knows.
Oh,
yeah. Adam, who are you going for out of those three?
If I could have one of them right now,
Yeah.
is Isak. It's the problem I worry about a little bit with him though is he's still sometimes you watch him and I think it's just because of how tall he is and like spindly. You're sort of like this shouldn't work, and then it just does.
yeah. He's not meaty enough, is he? He doesn't look physical.
He's got like really skinny, like dangly legs, but that's kind of
Like,
what
why
makes
is this
him do
working?
what he's
His
doing.
voice is all like his accent's complete. I was like, how's this? But
He's got a little bit of the Henri profile. He's nowhere near Henri. Nowhere near Henri. I'm just saying the profile. The profile.
Don't say that.
Why?
Don't say that. Because I'm about to burst everyone's bubble, unfortunately. Big up to everyone locked in, locked on. Sorry for arriving late and sorry for pushing in, but excuse my manners. So before I need to qualify this.
Oh, here we go.
I think
Popcorn.
we're in the dark ages when it comes to strikers in world football. I think strikers in general are not like what they used to be. And I can't believe I've got Newcastle fans who've seen the likes of Les Ferdinand, who've seen the likes of Alan Shearer. Yeah, you've seen the likes of some top
Andy Cole.
Tino Asprilla.
Andy Cole. Thriller, and then you're going to shake your bum violently for Isak. You guys must be smoking budgie banton on an empty stomach. Let me explain.
I am with you,
Isak
Deji.
is a
I'm
good
with you, mate.
striker, but he's not prolific. And until you're a prolific goal scorer, then you are a striker. He's a good player up front. But because there is a shortage of strikers in the world, we're going to put this guy on a pedestal that he doesn't deserve. I don't see Isak scoring 25 Premier League goals in a season.
That's not
He's
the
not
question,
gonna
though. It wasn't.
No,
Is it?
but-
Do you want
but-
Isak
but-
or
he's
the
the
best
most
striker of all
he's ever
time?
At the moment,
spoken.
if you're asking me, is he the
I'll
best
have Brazilian
of a bad
Ronaldo.
bunch? He's the best of a bad bunch.
Nah,
He's
man.
not-
No,
Hang on,
Deji,
it's
the
a
most
different-
sense you
it's a
have
different-
spoken, mate. Shout out to you. In all the times we've done shit together, it's the most sense you have spoken. You are right. Because Deji, ask these Toon guys, would they take Isak or Shearer? Ask them that.
First of all, it's a different era, and
No, don't give me that's
it's a
his
different
point.
tactic.
That's his
It's
point.
one up
That's his
front
point.
now. It's one up front.
So you're taking Isak over Shearer? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
What are
that.
you saying
They're different type of profile players as well. And Shearer, go on, Pete.
No, go, carry on.
How many goals is Isak capable of scoring? Premier League goals? Because I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat who are getting really rattled, and I can tell they're all smoking budgie bandit.
What's he on now? What's he on now?
How many goals do you expect Isak?
Oh, it's a good time for Potts.
Go on, Premier League season.
Isak is apparently rubbish.
Right,
Thomas. You
let-
don't
let's
want him.
just-
Oh,
That's not
hang
what
on,
he
hang on,
said.
hang on,
That's
hang
not
on.
what he
hang on.
said.
Isak isn't rubbish. And I agree with Deji, right? We get carried away with players who've had a good season or a good half of a season, right? I'm not Harry Kane's biggest fan, but Harry Kane has scored 64 goals in 65 games for Bayern Munich,
Farmers
right?
League.
Oh, come on, that's career, that's Champions League as well.
What's he won? What's
So-
he won, Rich? As much as me.
What's Isak won?
Yeah, that's an impressive. That's an impressive.
So
goal scorer.
you might say at this moment in time, Isak's on phenomenal form. But if we're talking like record, if we're talking like ruthlessness, if we're talking like pedigree, it has to be Harry Kane. Like you can't.
Yeah, but Rich,
It's not an
Rich, you're
argument.
making them divert from the question. I'm asking again.
Isak scored
Isak
50
or
in
Shearer?
89.
Prime Isak or Prime Shearer? Who you taking, Toon Boys?
You're taking Shearer all day long.
Yeah.
Come on. That's
You-
not
you-
even a
look,
question. Surely.
that-
So
that's
Deji is right in what he's saying. I'm
How
just
did this
saying that,
question
like, when
evolve
Deji
into
speaks
this?
sense, you have to call it how it's right.
This
What
What
was
have I
the
walked into, man? What have I walked into?
We're talking about like top level strikers, like who's top level.
right
And Deji
now was the
on-
question.
See, this is the thing, Wolfie, is that Deji said that the level of strikers now, or there's not a
right.
lot of
He's
strikers around
He's
now.
right. I never
of that
agree with
level.
him, but he's right. I could
And
reel
that-
off.
and
You
that's
got
fine.
R9, you got Henri, you got Shearer, even Owen, Torres.
That's not what Daz was saying, though. Daz was saying
That's
it's a
what
different
Deji's
era.
saying. I can't believe I'm
The style of
defending
football is
Deji.
different. The style
Thank
of
you,
football is
Wolfie.
different. The setup of the formation is different. There have to be a different type of striker. What Deji was saying is that there's not a lot of them available. That's two
He's
different
right.
things.
He's right.
I would actually agree with you. I would actually agree with you that there's not a lot of top level strikers around, but that doesn't mean just because there's not a lot of them around that the ones that are there are not good.
Now you're missing his point. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deji. What you're saying is Isak is a good striker, but what they're doing is trying to raise him to the level of the great strikers. Would I be right in what you're saying? there?
No, we're not doing that.
This
What
was
we're doing, we're saying that Isak is of the level of the top strikers right now. You guys
of course he is.
you guys are comparing
Yeah,
him
I
to
mean,
Yeah.
the old great. We're not doing
Yeah.
that. We're saying
Well,
he's one of the best right now, like
I mean-
in terms of what's available, which I think is right.
I agree.
Yeah, look, Isak is one of the best right now with what's available. What I'm trying to say with what's available isn't that great. It's nothing for us to be getting excited about. And no disrespect, Wolfie. I think Chris Wood is having a blinding season, and you got to put respect on his name. But we got to say Chris Wood is up there.
He
Do you
doesn't
know what I
lace
mean?
Collymore's
Based on-
boots, mate. He wouldn't lace
but we-
Collymore's boots. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, and that's
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make. Like the standard of striker.
I think the
is
talent pool
lower
out there,
than-
Deji's right, man. The talent pool
Yeah.
is awful. I mean, look at
Yeah.
England. Like
Mm.
after Harry Kane, we're like, shall we put Liam Delap in? Like, no, I like Liam Delap, but
Yeah.
like that's where we've gone. Whereas before, Ian Wright and Andy Cole couldn't get in the England side because they had Shearer and Sheringham. Like, what is it all gone? Where has it gone, man? It's just dried up. So
Yep.
as much as I'm a
I know.
massive fan of Isak, I get what Deji's saying is like Isak's lot, right now he's class, but everyone around him is pretty poor, really. Let's be real.
Here's a question: Does Isak have to go to a club like Arsenal to become a true great?
No.
Rich, why are you doing this, bro? Why you doing,
I'll tell you why, Rich.
You-
Did
you're doing this on purpose.
Shearer go to a Man U like he was linked to? No, he had some standards.
But-
So Isak doesn't have to.
I'm not gonna
Can I
lie.
also just say something? So I think it was on your show, Potts. I don't believe this narrative that Newcastle. Look, I think people forget Newcastle is the richest team in the country. Yeah,
The world.
I don't care about FFP. I don't care about any of that crap. These guys can offer more wages than anyone in the Prem. So why would Isak leave Newcastle to go to Arsenal for what reason when they're on the up? So this idea that he's just going to leave because Arsenal come calling, I don't believe that for 1 second, because wages wise they can match it. There's probably stuff going on behind the scenes that we're probably unaware of. Newcastle is primed right now to be the next great, depending on how they spend in the next couple of years. So where's he going?
But
you're speaking sense tonight. What did you eat?
Still make decisions from past actions. That's why you still get amazing players going to Man United, right? It's just simple as that. You're working off of reputations. You're working off of recent history and how regular these clubs finish in top level positions. Arsenal still have more of a pull than almost every other club in the Premier League and almost every other club in world football, purely for some of those reasons. But I think the point we made earlier, right, Potts, I was giving you shit when you weren't here about a lot of Arsenal fans talking about just strolling up to Newcastle and just like, here's a check and taking Isak and heading back down south. It feels like there's a lot of entitlement from Arsenal fans that there's just this like acceptance that you can go out and take anyone you want from anyone you want.
Yeah, no, you're right. Look, I think the lads on here, everybody knows to watch my content. Isak's my number one. Him and Gyokeres are the two that I want, right? I don't think we're getting either because we don't have a serious owner. We don't have serious board members. And our manager at the moment is acting like a clown again. So there ain't going to be any way that they're going to be coming over to Arsenal. Let's just play it how it is. Look, if we speak to Isak real talk, he would probably say, yeah, I'll go to Arsenal because I believe that I can more chance of winning a title there. People might laugh in the chat. I know it's a Newcastle channel, so they'll play, well, Newcastle can win the league. They can't. Like, let's just be real. Without being horrible yet, they might do it in a few years' time, but they can't win the league this season or next season, right? So Isak at the moment, I mean, they're going to have more chance of winning with Isak without him. But let's be real. Like, if you said now, let's get Isak into the Arsenal team, a lot of people will go, crikey, they're serious now. So that's how close Arsenal are from trying to get into the title. In my opinion, there's a lot more problems going on than just Arsenal should win the league because there's a lot more than you need than just the player and stuff, right? Isak is quality. Isak's top quality. And we saw the other night, Newcastle didn't even need to do much, really. It's like, look, just give us a chance. Boom, goal. Whereas Arsenal were trying to knock on the door, give us a few chances. We'll fluff them. Our front three is an absolute disgrace. And Newcastle's isn't. So,
but what I would say is that, and this is why I say that Arsenal is the red Tottenham, as someone coined it.
Do you know what, Dej? I laughed at you when you said that, but I'm going to go with you, man. We're turning into Spurs.
You guys are a spicy Spurs, definitely red.
Well, no, Spurs are fun to watch. So Arsenal aren't the red Spurs.
Arsenal don't even need Arsenal's issue. They don't even need a striker the level of Isak to get the job done. I watched Solanke yesterday hold off Konate like he wasn't there. Even if you had a Solanke in your squad,
Konate's got a bloody leg brace on at the moment, mate. He shouldn't even.
I know, mate. But what I'm trying to say is, if you even had Solanke, mate, you'd win the league.
If you had,
I said you hype up this Solanke brother like he's bloody Shearer, mate. Exactly. Solanke is not as good as you're saying, did you?
I think the problems are deeper at Arsenal. There's this movement in the Arsenal fan base, and it's not you, Potts. I think you talk a lot of sense. That if you went and got Isak tomorrow, you would win the league. And you're bang on. There are more issues in Arsenal. I think your biggest 100%. Issue is the manager, for me.
Well, of course he is.
Even within that, the balance of the team looks off at the moment. Where's your cover for Saka down the left side? Martinelli looks completely gone this season. So bringing Isak into that team will improve your chances. But there's this segment of the Arsenal fan base that I think Isak solves all the problems, or bringing Gyokeres in. And I think it's a bit delusion in their fan base at the moment.
Wait a minute. There's delusion across the board because Isak is not leaving Newcastle. Isak is priceless. Isak, especially if we were to get Champions League football, even European football,
no one's
Isak is going nowhere. Now, back to Deji earlier.
You got to play in Europe, like that. You got to get
Newcastle
European
being. Sorry,
you got to get European. You got to get European football if you want to keep him. That's what I will.
Guaranteed.
Right. He's going to stay.
I agree with that.
100%.
Yeah. Back to Deji's point earlier about us being the richest club in the world. We are, but we can't spend what we have, and there are restrictions. Even in terms of wages, there's restrictions. So we have to qualify for Champions League to be able to offer the wages that Isak deserves. And then when we get into Europe, there's also restrictions there as well on the percentage that you can pay. So there's restrictions all across the board, and it's affecting all of us well until they do something about it.
As Daz said, like the restrictions there, but I think if we get any form of European football this season, I actually think one of the first things we will do is time down to a new contract, and he's still got 3 years left on it. But I think what he's proving this season again, because it's not just a one season wonder, he's backed it up again with another big season, and so therefore everyone's talking about him, so therefore his value would have skyrocketed, and he would then be worth £250,000 a week, maybe even more, depending on what we negotiate with him. And I think that'll be one of the big things that we'll do first. We'll do that early. We have had talked about in the summer, but then it was put on the back burner because of PSR and all the rest of it. So there's already been talks there. It's just been on hold, and I think it's a case of wait and see. I think Potts is absolutely right. We need European football, ideally Champions League, but I don't think it has to be Champions League or nothing. I think it's we got Europa League. I think the conversation.
Is Isak the only one though, Pete, to worry about? Is Isak the only one to worry about keeping hold of?
Bruno.
Yeah, no, I think Bruno's another one. But Bruno, for me, I've said it on your channel as well, Potts. I think if anyone was to leave, I think it's more likely to be Bruno.
I agree.
I genuinely do. I think
Isn't he linked to Man City?
What's that?
Man City heavily linked to them this window.
None of our players, none of our big players are leaving in this window. It's not happening. And I think it was before the window opened. There was lots of talk of Bruno, but very quickly the Man United sources and the Man City journalists and sources were started quickly saying that was a no-go. So I think they'd already been told it's not happening. In the summer, I think it'll be a different story regardless of where we are. But if we get European football, we won't have to sell because we'll be generating more money. The places that we finish in the Premier League will be higher naturally because we're in Europe. And I just think it's not all cut and dry. The thing that makes me laugh, and it's not Potts, as you mentioned, Wolfie, but some of the Arsenal fans. I mean, the thing that made me laugh is that it's a semi-final first leg. The away team pull up, and you've got Arsenal fans, grown men, that are cheering Isak as he comes off the bus, and they're cheering him, and they're saying the words "Welcome home." They're saying to him, "Welcome home." And it's
Swedish,
like, I've got to be honest. If I'm Isak walking off, that coach, I'm not thinking, "Oh, they love me. I need to sign for us." I'm thinking, I've got these guys on strings. They're going to give me the keys to Emirates to do what I want. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened on Tuesday. He got all the time and space. Every time he got the ball, Gabriel, Saliba, backing off. That's what Isak wants. And you literally played into his hands. And I just thought the whole thing around Isak was just an absolute joke. If anybody's known or seen or watched Isak, he is absolutely zoned in on match day. It was very, very clear that a lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of those players were not.
Pete, do they have Freddie Lundberg there as well, just to welcome him in, just a fellow Swede or something?
And Anders Limpar and Freddie Lundberg.
Oh my God, you're going back some now, yeah?
I'm going back. But I think it's mad. I mean, Chris is asked in the chat about if Isak become available, how much would I go to? I'd go to how much you want. I'll rate him that highly. I'd give you 120, 150, whatever it is. I think he's that ridiculously good. So I'd take him, and I think he would fit Arsenal personally. The problem I've got is I think he would fit Arsenal of 2022-23, not this version of Arsenal, because he probably wouldn't score any goals because we're playing absolutely horrendous. It doesn't matter who's playing up top. No one's getting any chances to put him in at the moment because we're just failing miserably, if I'm honest. I will say though, I did, and I've met some great Newcastle fans. Some of them on this panel, but I've met some great Newcastle fans up in Newcastle. But I met probably the most deluded fan on the tube on the way to the game, and they were all screaming that. What's that song you sing? That Kanye West and Estelle one. Something about the Champions League. Take me on a trip, I like to go someday. Da, da, da. Screaming that in my ear. I don't know if it's about Lewis Hall, is it? Is it about Lewis Hall? Yes. Anyway, screaming that in my ear, and then we were all squashed like this. And then I said to him, "I'll say, how you doing? How do you think it'll go?" I think we will like 4-0. I said, okay, cool. And then I said, "What do you think about Eddie Howe?" I think what he'll do, he'll get more than Sir Alex Ferguson's ever got in his life. I said, right, what do you mean by that then? He'll get more trophies than Sir Alex Ferguson's ever got in his life, man. And I thought, blimey, he's had a few beers. Or what do you call it, Eddie? Smoking the what? Smoking the Budgie Banton. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Budgie Banton. So I was thinking, wow, this is crazy. So I said to
That
him,
was either the best Geordie accent I've ever heard, or the best.
I'm
or the
terrible
best
at
ever
Geordie
one.
accent.
I can't quite
Lawless.
figure it out,
Better
man.
than Lawless.
Better than Lawless. So I said, yeah, meet a Welshman. I thought it was quite Welsh as well, to be fair. And I sat there and I thought, oh, fair enough. Like, he's obviously had a few. And he said, I said, how much? I thought I could have some fun here. So I was with my dad. I said, how much do you want for Isak? And he's like, he's not going to Arsenal in his life. He's screaming in my face. And I'm like, whoa, I was only kidding, man. Calm down, bro. Calm down. And he's like, yeah, can give us 250 million and I wouldn't sell him in a day. I thought, crikey, wow, let's get off this quick. He's going to kill me, this geezer.
He got that angry, he turned into a Jamaican.
Yeah. He was absolutely screaming in my face. And I thought, wow, this is mad.
But honestly, so that's how it's got a large section of the fan base. That's how it's got at the moment, because it's not Arsenal fans as such. It's the media and everything about it. You've seen Sky Sports not talking about Isak for how good he is and how well he's doing at Newcastle. They're talking about Isak and his numbers and what he could do in an Arsenal team.
Yeah,
and it's like, hold on a second.
Why is it Arsenal though? Why is it not City or Liverpool or Real Madrid? Why is it Arsenal?
Forest, yeah, it did well at Forest.
It's all because of it's all because of that linked
recency
theory on
bias.
me. And in the way he plays, he's not at that Henry level, as Wolfie said, quite rightly, but he plays in a very similar way.
The profile, Pete. It's the profile. You can see signs of it, can't you? Yeah. In the profile of his play. That's what I'm saying, and
that's what it is. And because it's Henry,
one rumor I will deny though is that Arsenal fans don't like Newcastle and they don't want him to win anything. That's bullshit. That's rubbish. That I don't know where that's come from. Like that. That's
if you listen to Ty,
oh yeah, but let's to Ty. Let's be real. Like, he's my breadwinner, but come on, no one's going to listen to Ty. No one's been listening to for 10 years. I mean, crikey. So look, I think I put Newcastle for Champions League. That's all I'm saying. Before a ball was kicked, I put them as fourth. And everyone laughed.
Well, you were guaranteed second, though, weren't you, as well? Before a ball was kicked.
Forest were getting relegated, weren't they? If I remember rightly, yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question? Quick question. Potts 2-0 down. Is it over? Is it over the Carabao Cup? Because could you go to St. James's and get the win?
Rich, we've had 2 shots on target in 18 months at St. James's Park, bruv. So I'm going to say no. I think it's done. We need a miracle, if I'm honest. And I wanted to win this competition, but I don't think that Mikel Arteta does. Well, he hasn't tried to bother to win it for God knows how long, right? But I don't think we turned up, did we, against Newcastle? Eddie Howe's had his number. I think he'll have his number again in the second leg. And I'm tired of saying that, by the way, because I rate Eddie Howe, but I don't think this is an absolute levels manager above what, this isn't a manager that you look at and think, we can't be touching him. Like, it's like Pep. Like, we should be able to have his number by now. He's done you 4 times now. You must be able to do something different. And we've just failed at every single hurdle against Eddie Howe. And it's embarrassing, if I'm honest with you. Because you look at what Newcastle have got. Oh, Arsenal had Saka out. Yeah, do you know what? Newcastle had Bruno out. Newcastle had Fabian Schär out. Newcastle had players out as well, right? So it isn't just the Arsenal couldn't win saying got Saka. And then the same fans will get the hump because when you say it's Saka FC, then no. Well, what are you moaning about only one player out? Because that was our strongest team, by the way. Other than Saka, that was the best team the other night. So anyone saying that was because Saka was out or injury problems is waffling crap. I just think it was embarrassing, if I'm honest, the performance. And I keep saying it, Kai Havertz, that signing, he'll fall on that sword, man. He'll fall on that. £65 million, and we paid him 290k a week. And the guy doesn't know how to play in the 9, doesn't know how to play in the 8, and the other night he was actually playing on the right wing. Right? That's how embarrassing it was. He was playing on the right wing, and we still need a right winger, a striker, and an attacking 8 and another 10. And he's played in all those positions. So we've spent £65 million on a player that can't actually start or be versatile. So what was the point of this signing? It's just
you could have got Tony for 40. He would have done a better job.
I would have taken Tony for 40.
Yeah.
I would have. It's just awful, man. It's just awful.
You could, and also Potts, just to say, I mean, because I don't know why these clubs like to lose money. I mean, Lopetegui's got 3.5 million to do the job that he's done at West Ham. I could have done that job for free. I could do Havertz's job for 290 quid a week.
Yep. So could I, bruv.
Only 290 quid.
Mate, honestly, just to show you, they're paying 290,000 for that rubbish. Yeah, I can do the same job.
Your fee for this show is more than that, Deji. What are you talking about?
I mean, I must say, I do think Arsenal right now it is becoming a bit of a laughing stock again. People will say I'm over the top because we're third in the Champions League and we're second in the league and it's all calm and we're not out yet and we've got FA Cup. If we don't win our next 2 games, it's going to get horrendous, man. Because we've got Manchester United at the weekend. We go out to them, we're out of another cup. And then we've got Spurs in the North London derby who are depleted at the back. We don't win those 2 games. Wow. Mikel Arteta, I'm sorry, man. There's serious pressure. I mean, there's pressure already, right? But for me, he gets to May and he's not won anything. I want him gone. He's not going to go, but I want him gone because I don't know what we're trying to do.
2 games. You've lost 2 games.
No, he's not been good for a couple of seasons for me.
Yeah, but no, he's been more than that. Ad. It's more than that now.
It's
How long do we give this guy,
direction.
man? Like, how long do we give him, Ad? You know what I mean? Like this, it's not like we're Everton trying to win our first trophy here. Like we're Arsenal. We've got 5 years worth of £750 million spent, and he's playing Tony Pulis football. Like, let's just be real. What is
the quality of football
Who's
you
your
play?
replacement today? Sorry, Pete. Who's your replacement today, boss? If you get rid of him tomorrow, who would you bring
Why is that
in?
a question? I don't understand why that's a question.
Why? If you don't like
Who was-
Arteta and he's done,
Who was
but
Klopp's replacement? Who was Klopp's replacement? There isn't one, according to everyone when he was going. Slot's come in and done a cracking job.
Well, Slot
Why
did
is
pretty
it
well
down
in
to
the
the fans?
Eredivisie.
I had this with Cooper. Who do you want? Who do you want? I just don't want Cooper.
Let him answer the question. It's
All right.
not, it's not an unfair
I
question.
think no. I think what Wolfie is saying is true because there is quite a lot of people that say, "Oh, who do you want?" Then I can go through a list of managers, and all the Arsenal fans do is say, "Don't want him. Don't want him. It's boring football." So I can pick Diego Simeone. Don't want him. He plays 1-0 football. What are we playing? Simone Inzaghi. I don't want him. Blimey, he's come from the Serie A. What proven has he got? I want a younger manager. All right, I'll take Xabi Alonso. He's one saying, "Oh my God, we might as well keep Arteta." Every single hurdle you go to is mad.
Yep.
I'd take Zidane. Right, I'd take Zidane tomorrow. Zidane has done miles more in the game than Mikel Arteta could ever dream of doing as a manager and a player, right? So I'd take him as one option. I'd go and get the Simone Inzaghi. Can't get him. He's at Inter Milan. Wasn't Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon? Okay, you can't get him because he's at Inter Milan. I'll go get Diego Simeone. I'll go get Carlo Ancelotti. These are managers that have done stuff that have a CV that says I can win. And we're a team right now that can win a trophy. We might not be able to win the league, by the way. Even if those managers come in, we still might not win the league. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, get this guy out because he can't. I don't think he can get us across the line. That's just my opinion. Some people believe he can, and he will one day. At the moment, the evidence suggests he really can't because it's not looking good.
It's almost like
could change around, but
I was going to say it's almost like he's taking you up a step because you were fighting for sort of like top 4 and in that sort of bracket, and he's taking you beyond that, so you're almost kind of guaranteed in a season in that top 4. He's built you a team that can get there and get close to the title, but it's those little rungs that you have to get to, and is he the one to actually get you there? He's tried a couple of times, he's failed. I have to be honest, Potts, and we said it on our review after the game on Tuesday, you look at Arsenal from 3 years ago, and the quality of football has gone down every single year, and to the point where you're looking at Arsenal. I'm looking, and I was arguing with a few Newcastle fans before the game, and they were saying like, "Yeah, no, Arsenal quality football team. They play lovely football." I was like, "They don't. Watch them. Watch how they play." And after 10, 15 minutes, those same lads were messaging me saying, "You know what? You're right. It's because all you did." And it said it in the first 10 minutes, you've got like 2-3 corners, and the cheers from the home end, the cheers were like you got a penalty.
It's like we got a penalty now, bro. It's set piece again, ole ole. That's all we sing the whole game. It's embarrassing.
That was the only way.
5 years in, man.
You could try and score was through that. You weren't able to break us down. We defended brilliantly, but
we've only beaten 2 teams in the top half of the table. You know that, don't you? This season.
Don't remind me who they were, please.
Yeah, exactly. Forest and Villa. That's it. We ain't beaten anybody else in the top half. That is a shambles. Yeah. We've got absolutely no. We are so boring to watch. I mean, if anyone does go to the Emirates, make sure you bring your Kindle or a book because it is that bad at the moment. Honestly, it's so boring that you'll be absolutely bored out of your brains. We played Ipswich. I mean, Ad, you said Brighton. I mean, that you said that is one of the worst teams we've played all season, and it's Arsenal, not Everton or Southampton. And you've played some bad teams. So, like, let's be real. It's not good, man. And this is why I keep saying about how Arteta is got a lot of pressure on him. And listen, there's a long way to go. We can beat Man United and Spurs and we go on a run and all of a sudden, the football comes back and we might do it again. But I've seen this movie too many times, man. I know how it ends. And it don't end well, man. It don't end well.
For me, he's a transitional manager. What he did to get you from where he took over to where you were 2 seasons ago, that was his job. To get that next step, you need that top tier manager. The ones you've mentioned are fine. And what I say to you, Potts, is your opinion doesn't matter because you have no say in who the next manager
100%.
is. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But when a relationship has gone south, this is the example I used when I wanted Cooper out. I know if you're in a relationship, it's not working out. I know it's time to finish that relationship.
Well, look at you now, Wolfie.
I don't go on and say, okay, I'm not going to finish this relationship till I find myself another girl that I'm sure I'm going to jump straight in with. You know what I'm saying? You just know this relationship is done. You got to move on. And I was proven right. Look where we are now. Cooper was that manager, the greatest manager we had in the championship to get us where we were. He's not a Premier League manager. You have to move on. The club is more important than Arteta or Cooper or whoever. That's my opinion on it.
Well, hold on. Wasn't about 10, 12 games ago, Eddie Howe was a transition manager, wasn't he? He wasn't getting the job done. And now he's
Adam, I think we put that question towards the Toon Boys, don't we?
Well, but your transition manager can become the long-term manager, surely.
Just before you put that question to us, we've got 300 in the chat. Make sure you're kicking that like. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribing to us as well. And make sure you're subscribing to all these boys as well, who will be in the little snippet that we put out on YouTube. Nobby Clark, Toon, massive thanks for your super chat. We've got Red Dog, who must be a Forest fan.
He's one of my boys.
What's up, boys? The cookies and the Toon, knocking apples all over the floor, upsetting the cartel. Big up to you in there. Nobby Clark's back again. Why would Isak leave a happy club on the up to go to a toxic, needy club? Interesting. Don't know what you think about that.
A few weeks ago, though, like everyone was talking about how Isak needs to get out of Newcastle because they're going nowhere. That's how quickly football can change, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, the one thing is to say that he hasn't. That's not been his mindset all the way through. He's just focusing on his football. But let the people talk is what I would say. But look, ask us the question then. What's this question about Eddie Howe? Because we've been supporters.
So eloquent the way you ask it.
Well, what I'm saying is, if people are talking about Arteta being a transition manager, which is what's just been said by multiple people, and you've got to now move on. He's taken them as far as you can get. A lot of people saying about Eddie Howe 2 months ago, and suddenly, hold on, look what happened. You got your striker back from injury, and suddenly you guys look like world beaters. Arsenal don't have a striker. Like, is this Arteta? And the football's boring at the moment. I know that it's horrendous football, but is he a couple of players away from being able to play the football he wants to play? And suddenly you've got the manager you need, because we've just seen it with Newcastle. You guys, I remember being on here. It was, we can't score. We're putting so many crosses. Gordon can't finish. We've got nothing on the right side. Murphy's not doing it. The middle, like Joe Linton's not really doing it at the moment. Guimaraes, Tonali's out. We don't have the defensive.
And Burns, Adam, don't forget Dan Burns. Why are they playing him centre back?
Dan, what are we doing now? We got world beaters now. It changes.
Yeah, no, it does, Adam, and I remember that show, that intervention that with Dan United, yourself, Wolfie, and you know, it was a good valid point. I actually went and thought about it after that show because we were in a bad run. Lots of things happened in the summer. Yourself and Wolfie borrowed some of our players as well. And
you can have ours back.
And
we'll keep
yeah, there was question marks, and it was only right. We looked at the options as well. We were always how win, and we kind of set him a challenge, and he just rolled with it after that and never looked back. And Isak wasn't injured actually. Isak was playing, but he just wasn't playing well. Gordon wasn't firing as well. His head wasn't in, and a lot of players weren't. And Eddie Howe sat each of them down. He did a one-to-one meeting with each of them, and it just kick-started it. And on we go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Up the Premier League we go.
Whatever he did, it worked.
But and this is the thing. This is where football fans, not just Newcastle fans, football fans in general, just need to be sometimes patient and back their manager and back their team. Because sometimes it can play out of it. I understand Potts' frustration because, you know, you've got so close so many times and you're getting nearer and nearer and nearer. And the frustration must be building because you're looking at what Liverpool are doing. You're thinking that should have been us. That was what we were expected to be with the, and so I can see the frustration around us. Ours was a little bit different. The injuries, everybody knows from last season, we still managed to battle back and finish 7th, which in eight was it 8 of the last 9 or 7 of the last 8 years would have got us European football, apart from this year or last season was the only season that 7th didn't get European football. So you've got to think, you know what, we're unlucky there, injuries, all the rest of it. We started the season rocky, but now with our players back fit, raring to go, we are playing the football that I think we all expected Newcastle United to play. It's just a case of now, can we continue to do it? Can we continue? We're not going to win every game, win 7 in a row. We are going to lose down the line or drop points in the league at some point. But it's, can we be consistent? Can we beat the teams that we expect to beat? We've got Wolves next Wednesday. We've got following Saturday, we've got Bournemouth at home. 2 teams that at home you would expect us to beat. Bournemouth are a great team, playing really well at the moment. But if we can beat those 2, then we've got Southampton away. Then we've got Fulham at home, another team that's up there challenging. If we can win those next 4 games, they're games that can really kick us on. And then you're looking at a really good streak of form, ready to then welcome Arsenal back to St. James's Park.
So Pete, if you could look Deji in the eye, and offer him some advice then on his manager, would you be telling Deji to hold firm, trust the process?
Well, yeah, I would be.
Based on what you just said. Now that they have beaten, they won the league last night, beating Liverpool. Oh, that's the way they celebrated.
It's hard for me to say because I want them to keep Ange, because them keeping Ange, in my opinion, will continue this cycle on. That's what I believe personally. But yeah,
is the travel still out?
He's answered your question.
For me, I would say keep Ange, because this cycle will continue. You'll have good games like last night. I thought Tottenham deserved it.
As a friend, we all love him. We know he can come up with crazy stuff. As a friend, would you be saying to him, stick to it, man, hold firm? Based on what you just said about Eddie Howe, like put your shoes in his kind of thing now.
I would be saying to him, being honest, if that was me being honest with Deji right now, I'd be saying, wait until the end of the window. Does he get players in to improve your team, which you desperately need? If he doesn't, and these results continue, I'd be saying maybe it's time to go.
Was Deji celebrating last night?
Oh, he was shaking his butt.
No, he doesn't want to care about.
He doesn't want.
Come on,
I was celebrating. It's a win, and it was a win against a full strength Liverpool side. That can't be sniffed at. That was the strongest team Liverpool could have put out against a depleted Spurs team. I don't give a damn what anyone says. We were just talking about Arsenal and not having Saka, and I smirked. Yeah, you're talking about one player. Our whole back line was missing. Do you know what I'm saying? We had a goalkeeper.
Your squad's better than ours, though. You told me, so you're fine.
We've all got injuries.
I don't think with 2 players missing in your squad, you get a result against Liverpool in any competition, and that's just the truth.
I don't even disagree.
So maybe there is an argument there for me. The reason why I wouldn't change my stance. When Newcastle had their...
What is your stance, Deji? Can you just remind us? Because it's changed so many times.
My stance is Ange out, and a lot of Spurs fans probably won't be in agreement with me. But I would say that when Newcastle was going through their kind of barren period due to injury, you could see that Eddie Howe was humble, and he was trying his best, and he was trying to work out ways in which to get a result, in which... the Spurs game, we were licking our lips thinking, oh, right, we're going to go to St. James's Park and do something. And you absolutely he just went long and demolished us. With Postecoglou, I do think it's Russian roulette. Sometimes he goes black, sometimes he goes red. Yesterday, he went black and got black. That doesn't mean that it's all changed. Do you get what I'm saying? It just so happened to work. Just a couple of weeks ago, we played the same style with the same players, and we got slapped 6-3. So, you know what I mean? We could go to Anfield and lose 7-0. So for me, because of that, because it feels too much like a gamble, I'm not sure that's what I want. I need something more concrete. Whereas Eddie Howe, You could see what he wanted to do. He just didn't have the tools to do it. And as soon as the tools came back, Newcastle are back. I'm not sure that Romero, Van de Ven all come back into the Spurs team, Vicario, and we go on a run of games where we win 4 or 5 games in a row. I can't see it, and I don't think it will happen.
But would another manager do it?
I think potentially. Yes.
Who would you go for?
Before Postecoglou, I wanted Marco Silva, and I think Marco Silva, the job that he's done with that Fulham team cannot be underestimated. I think that's almost as impressive as Eddie Howe's job at Newcastle, but probably slightly more. He's taking bang average players you wouldn't even look at on the tube, and he's getting a tune out of them. Iwobi, that Potts right now is looking at when Iwobi left, that Potts didn't even give a damn. He forgot that he was an academy player from the club, someone who was born and bred at Arsenal. And in fact, what Potts decided to do was to wave goodbye. He had his little white tissue, said, "See you later, Iwobi. See you. I never want to see you again. You're not allowed back at Halen." Now, Iwobi, one of the best wingers in the league at the moment. Your boy Smith Rowe seems to be doing well there. You know, these are not
well. Halen, man, Arsenal 2.0.
Well.
They are.
Even the goalkeeper. You know, honestly. And for me, that is the mark. That's the mark of a good manager. If you can take for quote unquote average players and make them play out their skin, that's the result you're getting.
Edgy, would you take Nuno back?
Ooh.
Oh, he's thinking.
That's a great question.
He's on fire with his question. Do you know what? A little bit like Poch, I was fuming that we got rid of him when we did, given what he had done. I did feel like Nuno wasn't given enough time. Like, legit. I know a lot of Spurs fans don't like his style of play or football, but 3 months is not enough time for any manager. I don't give a damn. And I don't know. I have my own suspicions, but I'm not happy that we didn't give Nuno time, and I'm not surprised, and I'm happy to see that Nottingham Forest have given him a platform and he's doing well. But would I take him back? I'm not sure. I prefer Ange, but I think he deserved more time. That's all.
On Poch, yeah.
Yeah, I want Poch all day long. Why not? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
There is this love affair. My brother would take Poch back for you lot at Spurs. He's like, give me Poch back. I don't get it. What did he do?
Let me tell you why. Poch, and sometimes I feel like the fan base can be very, very lazy and they've got goldfish memories. Before Poch, we were like, you know, I mean, Harry Redknapp got us into the top 4, but we weren't an ever present. Yeah, we became top 6, part of the big 6 because of Poch. But the key thing is this. You don't like Daniel Levy. So you need a manager that can work with Daniel Levy and work with the tools that he's been given and produce a miracle. These managers are few and far between. Let's be real. When Spurs got Poch, we weren't thinking ever presence in the Champions League. When Spurs got Poch, we weren't never thinking. We were happy if we could get to the next round, get out of the group stage. We never thought Champions League final. Yeah? So and that's despite not being able to buy a single player for 18 months. And we poo-pooed that like it was nothing. Now look. So for me, given the circumstances, that's why I look at Ange Postecoglou and say, is he able, with the tools that he's been given, can he get Tottenham challenging? Can he get Tottenham in the final of a European competition? I'm not sure. So I would give Poch another opportunity because he deserves it.
Interesting.
Would you take Emre back, Potts?
Nah, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
I like him.
You didn't give him enough time either, mate. You didn't give him enough time.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I liked Emery, but I think the structure was completely different when we had Unai Emery. Like we had the Cronkies weren't total ownership. There was no backing for him. There was Raul Sanlehi in bed with Kia Khan. There was Hus Fahmy there. There was even Gazidis there. It was a completely different regime. So I think when Emery took over, he was like, I want Zaha. No, we'll give you Pepe. I want Thomas Partey. No, we'll give you Dani Ceballos. I want Upamecano. No, we'll give you David Luiz. And he was just not backed enough, in my opinion. I think what he did to get us to Europa League and finish a point off a top 4 was outstanding with that team. Danny Welbeck's and Iwobis and Bellerins and El Nenis and all these players we had. But for me, I still think he had to go because the football was just absolute dire. We were conceding 30 shots a game at one stage under Emery because it was such a high line and we had such bad defenders. So I was really poor, but no, I wouldn't take him back. I want to win. I want an actual Champions League winner, the Premier League winner. You know, I think what Emery's done in Europe is superb, but I've got to see it.
I was going to say,
I reckon you would have won the Europa League on Emery though, if he had stayed. You would have had it.
Yeah, probably.
Can you afford to kind of discard someone that's won European trophies on a regular?
Fair question.
Oh, what? As in Emery to Arsenal, you mean?
Yeah. He's
that's not going to happen.
He can win trophies. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's what I was hoping would happen when we got him there, you know, and obviously he didn't, did he? And then he went. I couldn't believe he didn't win Villa the Conference League either. To be fair, I thought that was a nailed on thing for them, but he didn't do it. But look, I like Emery. I do. I rate him. I don't really know what's gone on Villa this year. They've been a bit up and down, really. They're like back a little bit again. It's like they're flirting with the top 6 again. But I don't know. I think we need to go to next level. I think Emery actually has done a very good job at Valencia, Seville, and Villarreal and Villa. But when he's gone to PSG or Arsenal, it's like gone kaput. And I think sometimes there's that managers that go to that next level and they're just not quite good enough. But I do rate him.
Certain managers. Go on, sorry, David, go on.
I look at that Arsenal team and I think Emery could do a better job. I agree. That. Do you think Emery can do a better job with your current squad? Who do you think can get more of a tune out of the players, Emery or Arteta? Because I think Poch could do a better job with our current squad right now, more so than Postecoglou.
Emery would make it entertaining.
You might not be wrong. It'd be better to watch. But I've got to be real. I don't think the Arsenal squad, the 11, is levels ahead of bloody Villa, if I'm honest with you. I don't look at Aston Villa and Arsenal's 11 now and go, God, I wouldn't take any of those washed up Villa players. Because I think they've got a quality goalkeeper. I think they've got a brilliant balanced midfield. They're scoring goals with Duran and Watkins. If you look at their attack, it's better than ours. The midfield is not much at the moment of a difference. Whereas years ago, there would have been, you wouldn't take any Villa players. Maybe the back line's better at Arsenal, but I'd like to think that most of our back lines is better than most, to be fair, in the Premier League when you look at it on paper. And they've got a world-class goalkeeper.
You've got the best defensive record, I think.
Exactly.
I was just going to say some managers are just suited at the time and with the particular players for the particular club that they're at. Like Nuno has got the perfect players and the perfect tactical setup for Nottingham Forest. So you transfer Nuno back to Tottenham and he probably wouldn't be the same. It's just the situation that he's got. Villa was just perfect for Unai Emery at the time. Like the players were crying out for that kind of manager, and it probably. And we were talking perhaps a few months back, like Arteta was the right manager at the right time at that particular time for Arsenal. It just seems like it's just gone a bit haywire lately. He hasn't really kicked on. Now, whether that's because he hasn't got the players that he wanted to at the time, or whether he's made the wrong signings, I don't know. But yeah, the certain managers are right for certain clubs at that particular time. Sometimes
I do like John Duran, Rich. There's a lot of Arsenal fans like John Duran. They really do.
I mean, at 21 years of age, he's probably up there with the hottest talents in terms of strikers in the world. So I think a lot of clubs are after him.
Rich is just uncomfortable with this Emery talk, man, and he's just trying to,
We're going to carry on with Villa.
I'm now saying that Duran is better than Watkins. He deserves
to start the season. He is. Yeah,
Duran, in terms of a striker, is better than Watkins. Definitely. Like in terms of ruthless finishing, 100%. He just wants to shoot on sight. Sometimes that doesn't suit what Unai Emery likes players to do. But he gets goals. Ollie Watkins does everything for the team, everything right. He sets chances up. He creates. He works hard. But when it comes to the crunch in terms of key moments in games to finish, he comes up short. He will score goals. Obviously, he scored 8 Premier League goals this season, but sometimes, like the last minute goal against Brighton, or to make it 3-1 instead of 2-1, and you're hanging on in a game, that's where Ollie Watkins comes up short.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get some questions in before Wolfie asks us if we take Bruce back. Sorry,
I've got one second. I've got one more question because I know Potts and Deji have got to go. So just before you boys go, Potts, massive game on Sunday. Is it Sunday against Man United?
Yeah.
And then an even bigger game next week, North London derby. How do you see both of those going before you leave, mate?
I think we lose to United and go out.
Serious?
1-0, 2-1 in extra time, something like that. The way we're playing ain't good enough. And I think we draw against Spurs. That's what I think. I think we're that bad at the moment. I don't have any confidence in the team. And then I think there's serious question marks. Look, hopefully we beat both, right? Because I want us to try and do something this season. But the way we are at the moment, I just feel so down and deflated about watching us because I've got no confidence we're going to score goals, Pete. We just don't. Martinelli's not scoring. Trossard's not scoring. Havertz isn't scoring. Jesus, little glimpses. And at the moment, he's not really consistently playing for whatever reason. Sterling's now back, which doesn't really fill me with much confidence. But Ethan Nwaneri and Saka are out long term, man. I don't think we'll see Saka again this season. I really don't. And I think that Nwaneri, I'm being told 6 to 8 weeks for Nwaneri as well. So we're going to have, some problems, mate. And apparently we're doing nothing in the January transfer window, Ornstein has said. But wait until the summer. So I've tapped out, man. I've tapped out. I'm done.
But I feel like you need a hug, mate. I feel like I just want to reach out and give you a little hug, mate. You know,
honestly, they are actually worse than Spurs. I honestly, because what Arsenal need to do is so simple, and they don't do it.
I agree. We don't do what we need to do, man. We don't do what we need to do. But I mean, we could be worse. We could be Tottenham looking up at 17 years without a trophy and in the bottom half of the table.
I think Tottenham are more likely to pick up a trophy than Arsenal this season. But I'm just saying, based on that performance,
Tottenham are never likely to pick up a trophy, Deji. Like, let's just be real.
The Audi Cup. Thank you.
There's a couple of things going on for me, and because I'm assuming Pete, you're going to ask me the same question, and even if you weren't, I'm going to answer that question because I really need to while Potts is here. Now, I had planned to go to Thailand on the 14th, 15th, and 16th on a yoga retreat, partly because I didn't want to have access to Wi-Fi, given the amount of dustiness that's been coming out of my club. I've had to cancel that flight, to be honest. I'm actually no.
You fraud. You fraud. After last week, what you were saying, you fraud.
Mate, after Arsenal's performance against Newcastle, mate, I might as well stick around. You know what? I'm sticking around.
He gave us his whole itinerary on Never a Foul last week, man. He was like, this is legit, man.
I was going to be kickboxing and all sorts, mate, for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm staying around.
Would you take a point now, Dej? Would you take a point now at the Emirates?
Look, 100%, because we're not going to have our back line. We're not going to, we're going to be playing, hopefully, Kinski, who had a blinder yesterday, I must say. Look, if we get a point at the Emirates, given the circumstances, I'll bite your hand off. Do you know what I mean? I would genuinely bite your hand off. But I will know if Spurs are on the right trajectory. Well, I won't know because this weekend we've got Tamworth, which should be light work. But I do think that game against Liverpool yesterday was a really, really uplifting game, and against the best team in the country at the moment. And I do fancy Spurs' chances of going to the Emirates and getting a result. Getting a draw. I will take a draw right now. We've had such a crap first half of the season. It would be interesting if Postecoglou could make us finish strong. And if you ask me, would you prefer to start strong? And I would prefer to finish the season strong. Last season we started strong and we died off. Maybe we have the other way around. Maybe we start pretty weak and then finish strong. But who knows? But definitely, it's good to see Potts. A couple of weeks he would have been telling me 4 or 5 nils. Now he's predicting draws. So
yeah, man.
Funny old game of football, isn't it? How things change so very, very quickly.
It's mad, bro. It's mad. Mate,
The
I
most
hope I'm
Spurs
wrong.
thing ever.
Hope I'm
The
wrong.
most Spurs thing ever. Beat Liverpool and lose to Tamworth. I will laugh. I will laugh.
Oh yeah, by the way, can I just wish you all luck at the weekend because you've all got really hard games. We've got Man United, which is really easy. Good luck at Tamworth. You're going to need it. Bromley, Newcastle. Good luck. I hope you're all right there. And then, to be fair to Rich and who have you got, Wolfie? You got
We
Luton.
got plucky Luton, mate, who may have
Luton.
Steve Cooper by the time we play them.
They probably will have. And Rich, you got West Ham, and yeah,
West Ham, new manager bounce.
Graham
Potter.
Potter.
Derby, yeah.
All our boys have been given a rest. They've been sent. Isak, Botman, the lot. They've been sent off. We won't be seeing them on Sunday.
Yeah, they're in Dubai, aren't they, Pete? In Dubai, innit?
That's where Arsenal need to be.
We've got a cheap holiday to Thailand.
Well, you do need
Someone cancel the holiday.
Yeah, they stole your holiday, Dej. They're in Thailand, like Dad said.
Oh yeah, I'll see you over there.
Boys, Potts, Dej, I know you got to go. Absolute pleasure. Happy boys. And we'll talk
Have a good
soon.
one, people. Take it easy.
Nice one, boys.
Right.
All the great questions we had, but we ran out of time.
Yeah, it always does. It always does. It bounces around all over the place.
Now we're down to the real top four. The cartel killers.
This is the question.
We got rid of them.
This is the question, boys. Can we be?
Let's huddle up. I feel like we need to huddle up and plan here. You know?
Getting close. Can we be the cartel killers? Can we?
What's our game plan? What's our game plan here?
Can the three of us genuinely finish within the top 5 and just throw everything out the wall? Well, it's still Champions League. Doesn't matter.
I mean, look, to be honest, boys, we're holding our end up. I'm looking at my fellow Midlands brethren here. And Rich, what's going on? What's going on?
Aston Villa are just strange at the minute because it's been such an inconsistent season, but it's 3 points behind Newcastle, who are having an amazing time at the minute. So we just need to go on a similar run to what Newcastle have had recently, and 3-4 big wins in a row. We need to get the away form sorted because at home, I think we're like second or third in the league. We've only lost one in 14 home games or something, and we haven't lost in the last 10 or 11. But away from home, we've lost 5 in a row, which is terrible. And yes, you can say like it's been Liverpool, Tottenham, Forest, Newcastle, Chelsea, but it's more the manner of those defeats as opposed to actual results. So we've got Everton away after this cup game against West Ham.
Manager bounce, mate.
New manager bounce again. And then we've got Arsenal away after that. So could they be having a new manager bounce? So yeah, it's trying to get 3 or 4 points out of those 2 games at least for to kind of get us back on track. But yeah, it's been we just conceded too many goals by silly mistakes, and then as I say, with Watkins, yes, scoring goals, but not scoring goals at the right time, the crucial times in games. That's what's killing us at the minute, unfortunately. But,
do you feel we derailed you a little bit? That late 2-goal winner. Not that I want to bring up old wounds, but it just felt like because it was a bit of a sliding doors moment. You would have gone level on points with us, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. But to be fair, after that, I can't remember what date that was. Was that the 14th of 13th of December, 14th of December, something like that?
Something like that.
I think we then beat we then beat Man City at home, which obviously at the time everyone was beating Man City, but it's still a big result.
Not us, mate. Not us.
So I don't know. I think we've been like that all season. We conceded a last 5 minutes to you guys. We conceded a last minute goal against Bournemouth. We conceded a late goal against Ipswich. We've kind of been like that all season. Like the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes of games, we've been really struggling. But that middle 60 minutes, we've played really well. But the problem is if you conceded a goal inside the first 15 minutes, you're giving yourself a mountain to climb, and then you're knackered for that last 15 minutes, and that's where we've been, again, conceding too many goals. So just need to sort that bit out. And I think it looks like he's going to be forced to, well, not forced, but it looks like he's going to be going into the transfer market. Daniel Marlon could be signed, and then we need a right back. So that could be done as well. We sold Jaden Philogene, it looks like, for 22 million. I don't know how we've managed to get that to Ipswich.
Oh, and you bought him in the summer for 13, and now he's selling
Yeah.
for 21.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it looks like Diego Carlos is going to Fenerbahce. They look like they're in advanced talks. So it could be a
Rich,
centre back coming in.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm sure my Reds in the chat, big up to them, are dying to know your opinion. Douglas Luiz, what are you saying on him? Give us the lowdown, man.
Do you know what, right?
There's a lot of heavy talks right now with your boy.
Yeah. Look, man, he's a great player. Very, very, very good player. But in my personal opinion, I was never 100% on Douglas Luiz. He's just my type of midfielder is a Joe Linton type midfielder. That's my type of central midfielder, right?
Even though he was a left winger, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Douglas Luiz,
striker.
I always thought that Douglas Luiz had more to give than what he was giving. And for half a season last season, he was phenomenal. The first half of last season, he was phenomenal for Aston Villa. But then after that, he just, I always felt there was more, that he had more to give. Like I felt he was sometimes too casual with his passes, sometimes too casual in the tackle. And I just, like I say, just felt like he was sometimes too easy to play against. And that's just my opinion on Douglas Luiz.
Would you
A lot of Villa fans think we've missed him because at times in games he would be able to control possession. He'd be able to, put his foot on the ball but then, in my opinion, I felt that was way too casual and we get caught out. I like a Yuri Tillemans type midfielder who wants to get on the ball, wants to get it moving and move the ball quickly. So, yeah, he'll be really good for you guys. But there will be times where he'll frustrate you.
I think he's like an 8, but can do both ends of it. Like, I think he's good attacking, but can also play defensively. Like, where would you put him?
Yeah, exactly. He can play. He's a central midfielder, and I'm not like, oh, this midfielder is a 6, this one's an 8. Like midfielders should be able to do that. They should be able to defend, tackle, and create. That's the whole point of having a central midfielder, and he can do that. The problem is it's too many. In my opinion, it's too much when he wants to do it. And that's what you'll get. You'll get times when Douglas Luiz has 4 or 5 games where you're like, this guy is brilliant. But then you'll have 2 or 3 games where he'll hide from the ball. He'll be too easy to play against. He'll just leave a leg in and he won't bother tackle. Like that's the problem with Douglas Luiz, and that's probably why he hasn't gone to like this level of football. Because he's got the ability.
Rich. It's scary. I don't know if you know Luke from Up the Villa.
Yeah.
He's literally word for word what you just said on Luiz. He said exactly the same. So either you've both in cahoots to try and put us off, or you both know what you're talking about. Man. It worries me.
But so many Villa fans would take Douglas Luiz back in a heartbeat, and he has the season where we just about stayed.
Why did he leave?
We had to sell for PSR reasons. However, there were other players that Aston Villa probably could have sold. But Douglas Luiz was the one that was the one that we'd sell to balance those books. We could have. I know Moussa Diaby went, but I think that was more about an offer that we probably couldn't refuse. Yeah. But we could have sold Jacob Ramsey. We could have sold 1 or 2 others within that team, and Douglas Luiz was kind of the first cab on the rank that we sold to balance the book. So and. You talked about, I can't remember, I think it was Potsy saying about the Olympiacos semi-final game. Like, Unai Emery absolutely castigated him, was going ballistic at him in the game for stuff that he wasn't doing. And then he misses a penalty, he gives away a penalty, and part of the reason why we didn't go through in that game was because of Douglas Luiz. Now, obviously you can't just criticise him for one game, but I think that says I think that game spelled the end for Luiz, to be honest.
Sorry, can I just address that? Much love, Kev. Yeah, but Forest have been out without their first choice midfield pairing all season. Sangare and Danilo. Danilo will be back this weekend. So I get what you're saying, but we have not been lucky with injuries.
Yeah, you lost in first game of the season against Fulham, didn't you? Is it Fulham?
Yeah, Bournemouth. He snapped his ankle.
Yeah. Bad injury, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like you got Elliot Anderson in there, you got Morgan Gibbs White as well as you got
Hey, Anderson's linked to Liverpool, boys. What are you saying to that, man?
You what?
Anderson's being linked to Liverpool.
Nah, not a chance. Not a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
Not a chance.
He's Forest now, through and through, man.
Yeah. But look, what are the chances then? Are we gonna pull enough form, boys?
I think 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 can do it.
I'm saying and Daz, get ready to clip this. If we beat Liverpool, we win the league, and you finish second.
We finished second.
On that note, I'm out.
I am deadly serious, right? If we beat Liverpool, we cut it down to 3 points. I know they got a game in hand, but that game in hand is against the most motivated team to beat them in the league, in Everton. Yeah. Wow. They've still got to play Man City. They've still got to play you. They've still got to play. Oh, there's going to be points dropped. Yeah. This isn't about who goes on the longest W streak. This is who can put together a couple of really good patches. It just feels like something's lining up. Just break this cartel 6. We've got to do it. If we don't win it, I want you to win it. Yeah, I don't want Liverpool to it. Look, I go to this Premier League, yeah, never thinking Forest can win it. My first thought is, as long as Man U don't win it and Forest do well, I'm happy. Now Man U are out of the equation. Yeah, I gotta be serious here. Us two will not get a better chance than this season to do this.
With so many teams dropping off, Wolfie, you're absolutely right. I think two out of the 3 of us should be targeting Champions League football, and I mean top 5 with that.
I'm saying us 2 target higher. Why? Why not? Why not dream? Why not dream?
No, you're right. You're right. We should be targeting higher, but top 5 should be the target. Because that guarantees us Champions League football. I think the 3 of us should be targeting top 6. If the 3 of us form part of that top 6, I think we have completely kind of threw the rule book out there of what that cartel expects. And
exactly.
I think that's a big moment because we did it. We got 4th. Then Villa did it. Then Forest do it, all within 3 years. But on top of that,
and all 3 of us do it together.
That's
smash them up, man. Oh my God, you get me all hot, boys. Seriously. But what Villa, I will say, you know, our biggest threat. I'm talking deadly serious now. Our biggest threat are 2 teams: Spurs and Man United.
Really?
Listen to me. Why? Listen to me why, right? And this is going to scare you boys, and it's going to scare the chat, but you need to know this. So the coefficient right now is looking very likely that the Premier League will get 5, yes? However, the winner of Europa gets an automatic Premier League spot. There is a rule, and I'm 99.9% sure of this, that the maximum teams allowed in from any given country is 5. And I know this is definite, the priority goes to the Europa winner. So we have to get some voodoo dolls and shit when Spurs and Man U are playing. But at the same time, we need them to progress as well to keep the coefficient up. This is the biggest conundrum and the biggest headache the likes of you boys and us have got right now. Because we need them to progress but not win.
Yeah.
Have you shit your pants a little?
No, not as much as I thought it would be when you first started talking about when you said the Europa, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But then I thought, are they really going to win it? Are either of them really going to win it?
They screwed you last year. They screwed you last year out of Europe, beating Man City. Don't forget history, man. They screwed you out of Europe. No one thought they'd win the FA Cup.
Who's in the Europa then? Of warrant and no.
Now you're worried. Now you're asking the right questions, Pete. Now you're asking the right questions.
Because that makes me because you're saying that makes me think. That's making me think. Okay, there's teams there that will make me feel more comfortable with that.
Kevin, I am not. I've researched this, right? And believe me, I want to be wrong, but it's not. Look, the teams in the Europa right now. If you look at the table, top ones: Lazio, Athletic Club, Anderlecht, Lyon, Frankfurt. They're about to lose their best player, Marmoush. Galatasaray. That's what they're up against.
I read this from Lisa.
Please find me the link so I can sleep again, Lisa. If you have it, find me the link.
Someone said this to me the other day. I swear, someone said
the rules were changed. They were changed a couple of years ago. To a max of 5.
Yeah, but this format's changed. Has that not changed it back?
I hope so, but I haven't seen it.
Look, okay, Lisa's restored my
Lisa, it's on your shoulders now, Lisa, right? No pressure, Lisa, but you've got to get it right.
I had heard it.
No pressure.
What I will say is we've got just under 140 likes, but we've got 280, 290 in the chat. Let's get up to 200 before we wrap.
Shameful. If you want to break the Cartel 6 up, it starts with the like. That's what I'm saying.
You want to break the Cartel 6 up? You want us 3, us 2 in Villa to break that Cartel? Click that like right now.
We'll start on Tuesday. We'll do our bit. We'll beat Liverpool. Yeah, you lot have to beat Wolves. Have you got Wolves next? I think it is.
Wolves at home.
Yeah, we softened them up for you. They've taken a 3-0 bashing. We got rid of the manager bounce for you. They're there on a plate. They're ready for you, right? We got to take this rise together, boys. We've got to do it together. We're stronger together.
Boys, I think that's a great way to finish. But
keeping with the keeping with the traitors team. We have to decide now. Take the cloaks off and decide who we're going to murder. So is it you, Wolfie, and Liverpool? That's our next murder.
Nah, man, we got it. Next murder.
Yeah, we're on about Traitors. You not watching Traitors?
No, my missus watched 2 episodes and then she wants me to catch up. I still haven't seen it.
You need to catch up.
I'm saying, right? I'm saying we'll do what we need to do against Liverpool. Leave that with us. We're living rent free in Slut's head. Yeah, he's got posters of Nuno up in his room and shit, man. Like the only team to beat him in 24, it's vexing him, right? So he's gonna come over arrogant to us. That's what's gonna happen, right? You beat Wolves, you go 6 in a row, we'll go 7 in a row in the league, yeah? And then they're scared. Then we have the aura. Once you get aura, that's it. They fear you. Yeah. They fear you. We got Southampton after that. I'm more worried about the Southampton game than the Liverpool game, boys.
We've got a busy February because we go away to Man City, we go away to Liverpool, and then we have you at home in between. Sandwiched in between.
Yeah, what do we do there, man? We could screw each other both us out of it, man. We got that run with you. We've got roughly the same fixture. I think we've got Man City, you, and Arsenal, something like that. That's our heaviest fixtures, and we've got a nice finish to the season.
We'll get to our battle at St. James's Park. We just need to do our bits either side of that.
Bro, we're getting towards the business end now. Boys, this is real, right? This is real. This ain't 3 months ago where we're just bantering and having a laugh, yeah? This is now serious shit. That's all I'm saying.
February, if you've got Man City and we've got Man City, we've got an opportunity to take them out.
Yes. Now the double teaming. I like where you're going with this, Pete. I like where you're going with this.
Them out.
Let me just check when we got, and the chat will probably already know.
Please don't tell me.
So we got you 23rd of Feb. Then we've got Arsenal. Then we got Man City. That's the thing. We draw between us, right? And then we both batter Man City, and we'll draw
between us. Not having this.
I'm trying to slide that one in, right?
You snuck that in there. No. We'll discuss that in the build.
We'll talk tactics then. We'll see how far a lead we have over Liverpool. If you still need to catch them, you know what I'm saying?
Pete, we're not having that. No way.
We'll talk. Definitely. But boys, let's wrap. It's been a great show. Thank you to all the people in the chat. Sorry we didn't get to your questions. Some great questions in there. Keep them coming on future shows. We'll try and get questions to the panel. Big up to Wolfie, always in the house. Great to have you on. And I think we're starting to plot now a potential plan.
Evil plan.
Yeah. No. It's the heroic plan. We feel like we're the Avengers. We're here to save the day. We're not evil. We're doing good for the Premier League.
True.
This is what we're doing right now.
We're saving football.
We're saving football. We love that. I love it.
Get that in a
t-shirt. You know what? I think you're onto a winner there.
Business minds coming in. Love it.
You're onto a winner. But everyone subscribe to Wolfie's channel, Forest Fans TV. Big up to Rich as well, the Villa Park Pod. Make sure you give them a subscribe as well. Dan Potts, of course, the 12th man, who hit 30,000 subscribers. Massive achievement for those guys.
Dan.
Great work
Well done.
for them as well. Didn't get a chance to say it to him live. Big up to Deji Spurs. Make sure you give them a subscribe as well. And of course, together BHA, we've got Adam as well, who left a little bit earlier. But great to have you all on. Superb panel, perfect panel, great conversation. And people are asking when it's going to be back. It will be back next week sometime. It's a busy week next week. We'll try and fit it in somewhere along the line. We'll try and make
we
it
got
work.
to plot our plan before then. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's
That
the
is true.
thing.
Let's get this FA Cup out of the way first, and then we'll talk.
Exactly.
Right. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us. See you in the
Take care,
next
people.
one.